Guess who got on a plane, chat? That's right! Me! Okay, story time. Story time before we start on the Florida man stuff. Management needed me to do something. They needed me to get a passport. And so, like, a bunch of my stuff, I didn't keep very good organization back where I used to live, right? And so when I moved, fun fact, if you're not organized before you move, you're definitely not going to be organized after you move. I lost some important documents while moving. And so, now that I'm back with my parents had, some of the documents. They gave me the one document. And I was like, okay, I'll find a spot for this. And this was like right after I moved. So I had no spot for that. I had no spot for that. So I just kind of shoved it in one of my bags. Now, I went and I checked all of my bags and I could not find it. So that was a bit of a problem because I needed that for my passport. So, I order a new one of those documents. So, I get the documents that I need and I'm like freaking out, right? I'm like freaking out. And Sakana is like, do I need to send somebody out to help you? And I'm like, no! I can do it. I'm a grown-up. I can get done what I need to get done. Yeah, can you send somebody out? I cracked immediately, chat. I cracked immediately. So, Sakana sends Muumi out to me. Like a tutorial, like a fucking tutorial guide. Sakana sends Muumi out to walk me through everything. And I'm like freaking out about this and that. I'm like, Muumi, we gotta go here and I gotta get this temporary thing. And because it's a temporary one, I need a second one as well of this other type. And then we gotta get like this done and that done. And Muumi's like, calm down. Muumi adulting coach. Muumi adulting coach. And so Muumi takes me around helping me sort out a bunch of stuff, helping me compile the documents that I need. And then we both fly out to a passport agency. Right? I'm at the window. And she asks me, what are you going to Japan for? And I'm like, hanging out with friends. Cause I'm scared! I paused for like a solid minute, chat! I paused for a solid minute! I was so scared that if I said business, that they'd be like, do you have a visa for that? Do you need to apply? Would you like to apply for a visa? Because that's gonna take like 5 extra weeks to like validate and stuff. I'm like freaking out, and I like asked Muumi about this ahead of time and stuff, and she was like, you could say business, it's fine. And I'm just like the window and I'm like freaking out, Jet. I'm freaking out! So anyways, Muumi had to answer a bunch of questions for me everywhere we went. It's hard, chat. It's hard. Basically, when it comes to anything like leaving the house, I just fall apart so easily. I'm one of those people where I'll make a plan to go do something, right? And I'll like walk out the door and I'll just like convince myself that like I'm gonna get stabbed and I'll fucking walk right back inside. I have so many things to talk about when it comes to the passport shit, man. I called the passport lady the telephone line for it, right? And I was like, I stumbled over my words and I said expedited instead of expedited. And the lady on the phone gave me like this like very judgmental tone. She was like, we do expedited services here. Is that what you mean? And I just like died a little more inside. And then she was like, oh yeah, you have to call back in 2 days. And I was like, God. You spoke to the passport lady. Yes, Jane Passport. She's probably used to it. It's the way she said it, man. Like, I was already so insecure. You just want to go on a date with Muumi. Oh my god. I did have a great time with Muumi. While we were in that city, she was like, oh, well, is there anything you want to do while we're here? And I was like, oh, yeah, I wonder, because this was like a really big city. So I was like, oh, let's go check out some like antique bookshops. And so we go to, okay, so I look on Google, right? And I find this one antique bookshop and it says open. And so we go to it and we look at the door and it says some shit along the lines of, sorry, we're not here right now. Please knock if the lights are on. Available by appointment only. And so I knock. And nobody was home. So I leave, right? We leave. We go to another bookstore. And this one, I asked the lady at the counter, I was like, hi, do you have any vintage books or signed copies or anything like that? And she's like, oh yeah, we got signed copies everywhere. You just gotta look for them. Glad to know you're passionate about your job, bitch! You're so helpful! That's so helpful! Thank you! Thank you for your service, ma'am! Thank you! It's a hunt? Yeah, that's so fucking helpful! I didn't find anything interesting. So we go to another bookshop. We go to another antique bookshop. And it says open. On the Google Maps, right? On Google Maps, it says open. So we go there, and it's like a long-ass walk. Not like a super long walk, but it feels really long because there's lots of hills and shit. And I'm like, hey, do you know where the bookstore is? And she's like, the fucking security lady, she's like, yeah, they're closed until the 8th. Can you put that on your fucking website then? Can you put that on your goddamn website? Muumi's like, oh, well, how about we call the other place and see if we can get an appointment? And I'm like, okay. And so I call them. And the lady's like, oh, yeah, hi, I'm here. You can just walk right in. We opened like 3 hours ago. And I'm losing my fucking mind because I was there like fucking 4 hours ago, right? I was there like 3.5 hours ago, okay? I tried that shit like literally like less than a fucking hour before she got back in the store. Ah! Ah! I had a great time though. I had a great time. It was really fun running around with Muumi. I guess it's fine to say. We were in San Francisco. Caboose, thank you. We were in San Francisco. I expected it to be a lot worse than it was. But San Francisco was pretty decent. Pretty decent. Literally everybody I met there was beyond wonderful. I fucking did not expect that at all. I was fully ready for everybody in San Francisco to be a giant piece of shit, but I didn't run into anybody mean. In fact, everybody in San Francisco that I ran into was super, super accommodating. Maybe the outside world isn't so scary after all? Maybe. Thank you. Do you take into account that you go with the expectation of people spitting on you? You imagine hell, you get normal, hence you feel good? Maybe that's what it is. Please do not become soft on California because they couldn't hide their vitriol behind a screen. Some people may be nice, but the state deserves the disdain it gets. I mean, I still don't like the state of California, but I was amazed at how nice everybody in San Francisco was. Yeah, I would go again. I would go again. I just know I had a surprisingly wonderful time. Usually every time I go into a city, it's like one of the worst experiences I've ever had, and I like hang on to how much I hate it for like the rest of my life. But I would go back to San Fran. I would go back to San Fran. There's a lot of cities I can safely say I would rather die than go back to. But San Fran was pretty nice. I told my parents though, and they were like, "That's not the San Francisco we know." Did you want to stream chat? Hit that like button, ring that notification bell, and smash that subscribe. Oh, okay.